Hello and welcome to the PPD YouTube channel, folks. Clyde Lindsay here from Pixel Pro Displays. It's great to see you all again for another Twinkle Tip Friday video. Now, as of last week, we were working on a wireframe snowman project, and we're going to continue the project. I don't want to call this a part 2 video because you don't need to have a wireframe to do this. You could be doing this with any prop that you're working on for your holiday light show, especially if it's a custom prop. Today what we're going to do is we're going to create custom models in xLights using the xLights model builder in the xLights custom model dialog to build a full model that we can use to output our pixel data to the model and have it appear on the screen as it would be out in our display. Stay tuned, we're going to get started right now. Alright, before we begin, I want to mention that there are other ways that you can create your xLights custom models. You don't have to use this custom model builder that I'm about to use. There is an auto-generated custom model where you take a video with your cell phone and upload the video into xLights. I feel like this is the absolute easiest way to create a custom model. It's not hard at all. Once you understand the basics of it and you know how you created your model, and in this instance over there you see the snowman wireframe, it's really going to be easy for me to reference the picture or turn around and look at the model and make sure that I'm putting those pixels in the exact right spot as I create the custom model. So to begin with, what I'm going to start with is use this image that you see to my right here. Now, when I look at this image, I can see pretty much all of the individual pixel locations. There, over here though, it gets a little bit foggy because I have something in the background. It should have been against a blank wall. I really didn't have a blank wall to put it against, but I was excited to be done with this project, the first one, and I took this picture, and this is how it came out. So we're going to use this as my background image when we go to create the model. So to begin, we're going to come up here to the top of the screen where it says Create New Custom. This icon here is our icon for creating a new custom model. And I'm going to click on it one time, and I'm going to come down to the box here and click and drag. And I'm going to make it, now think about the snowman body. There's 3 balls on top of each other in the hat. But then there's also the arms that spread out. And if the arms spread out, you need it a little bit wider for that. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm also going to come in here into our model data settings. And if we see this model data here, we can come in here and we can do a couple of things. So I want to say we want to do, I don't want it to be 50% wide and 100% tall, but we could do, I think, about 60. I think that arm span is about 60. So what if we change this width to 60 and we change the height to 100, and that maybe it'll get us close. We'll see. But the other thing that we want to do is we want to grab the image. So here is the image. I'll just grab it here, just pulled it off of my phone. And the first thing I'm going to say is that notice there's a lot of dead space up here, right? And there's very little space on the edges. There's a little dead space over here. And then you got a lot of dead space right up above here, right? Okay, don't worry about that. We'll get to that in a few minutes. The important part is that we can come over here to this background image slider, and we can make it a little more dim or a little bit more dark. And because we can do that, that gives me a great way to start clicking and adding our pixel nodes for this prop as we go along. But I'm just going to walk through the process, and it looks like to me, if I zoom in here, so you can zoom in on this screen, if I zoom in and I scroll down with my mouse wheel, and if I hold the shift key and scroll, it scrolls me to the right. This here, right here, is where I started the model. So this in effect is pixel number 1. Now, I'm not going to point out every little pixel to you. I'm actually going to go into fast forward mode. I'm not going to point out all of the individual pixels to you because it's going to get boring. But I want you to see the idea that I will get to a part where it's kind of confusing. I may pop back there and look at them just to make sure I'm doing it right. So one more thing before we physically begin pushing the pixels into the custom model is I want you to have a look over here on the left side of the screen. There's a couple options here. And what I want you to notice is that there are right down here, this auto numbering box. It says active and auto increment. What this means is this is going to allow us to just use my little mouse. I'm going to go with my little mouse and I'm going to click on a certain area on the screen. And whenever I click activate and auto increment, it's going to start with the channel number. Not actually the channel number. That's kind of a misnomer, but it's not. It's more like the pixel number. Think of it as pixel number. So I don't want you to get confused with channel or pixel. Just think as we activate the auto increment, it's going to calculate the next pixel anytime we physically click in a specific location. This is very helpful. Now, the other thing is that we're going to make mistakes. And when we do make mistakes, there's easy ways that you can reconcile it. And as I do them, I'm happily going to pop in and share with you exactly how to fix them. So as we begin, I'm going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and click Active and Auto Increment. And we're going to get started right here. Okay, so here it looks like I actually made my first mistake. And what I did was right here where this says pixel number 7, well, I was a little bit off. It should have been more up here. So how am I going to reconcile this? Well, what I can do, oh, I just clicked again. I'm going to deactivate auto increment and auto and activate. I could just hit deactivate. And I'm going to select this box and I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to right click and cut, or I can hit clear cells. If I clear those cells, now I can go back to where I was before, which is right here is number 6. I want to go to number 7, and I can click activate, auto increment, and my next number that I want to start with, so pixel number 7, I'll go ahead and click that right here. There we go, number 7. And we'll keep going. And it looks like I made another boo-boo. I need to go back and fix something. So again, we can deactivate it by clicking on that. And if we go ahead and click and drag, right click and clear cells, and we go back here, I want to say I made the mistake around 20. So 20 should be right here. So here is where I'm going to stop for just a moment. I know that you're watching and you're probably like, how do you really remember all that? Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. It's been a while since I physically worked on the model, but having it sit right here where I can verify it as I'm putting it into the wireframe. And again, I'm looking at it from the front. I see this from the front. I'm not pushing Coro. It's not, you don't think about it from the back. You think about it from the front. And as I'm going through here, I can just reach over, grab it, look at it, and make sure, hey, yeah, this is exactly what I'm going for. And there you have it. We just knocked it out, and it really wasn't that terrible. Now, I think the next step that we're going to do is we're going to put him back. We're going to connect him up to, I have a pixel controller right beside me, and we're going to test both of these out and make sure our model works with it. And we're going to show you a couple of cool things that are in the custom model builder. Let's first finish this model off. Let's go down here to the bottom and see where it says OK. Never hit the X. Never hit the X. Hit the OK down here at the bottom. If you hit the X or you hit cancel, you lost all your work and it's gone. And there's no getting it back. So hit the OK. So now you have it in xLights. And we actually need 2 of them because we're going to test both of them. But for now, let's just do one. And we can call him Snowman. Give him a name and poof. Now, I have a controller. I have a Falcon F16 V3. We can come over here to the controller tab, and we can come down here to, we can come over here to Discover. Now, I've already went through the network setup process, and I have it connected to my network, and it's already good to go. It has an IP address there, and we'll go ahead and click on it. Looks like it's set up for E131. And what we'll do is we'll visualize and we'll go grab our one model. And I know I have that Snowman there is already on output number 1 right there. He's going right out to him. And so now we'll get the chance to test out the model. And we'll go ahead and click OK. And we're going to upload the outputs. And the inputs and outputs are locked together. You can see on the bottom of the screen there how it says it's uploaded. And it is completed. We can go now into the sequence. We'll do a new sequence, animation, done. And I'm going to put a time mark, and I'm going to use the bars effect. So whenever you're testing a model, I always recommend the bars effect because the bars can go up and the bars can go left. If you built your model incorrectly and you put the bars left and the bars are actually going right, well, now there's a problem, so you might have put the model in backwards. So let's go ahead, put the bars effect, B for bars, and you see the bars going up on the Snowman, white and red going from bottom to top. We're hoping that this is kind of close to what it looks like when we actually click this button, output the lights now. All right, that's looking good. You know what, though? I bet maybe some of you are noticing that the white is getting dim and yellow in some areas. That's because I'm using 5-volt pixels for my prop here. Now, somebody asked a question in the comments of the last video saying, why wouldn't you use seed pixels? Well, I have nothing against seed pixels, but I already own 50 sets of these pixels. I'm not going to just go buy seeds in order to, I mean, I've had them for about 4 years. I said in the last video, I said I've had them for about 4 or 5 years and I never used them. So I'm putting them to use. I'm giving them a life, and this is going to cover 10 sets of those lights, and they're perfectly good, and 5 volts last me forever, so they'll probably never die. But in any event, yeah, we need to lower our brightness on our controller. So now we have one good model here, and let's go ahead. Let's stop this real quick. And let's do something else. Stop. Take off the output, the lights. Let's close the sequence. Discard changes, and we'll go back into the layout. Now we're testing the model and it looks right. And we'll Control C to copy the model, and we're going to Control V to paste it. Now look, it created an exact duplicate. So here is Snowman 1, and here's Snowman -2. Okay, so now we have a second Snowman. Let's go into the controller, double click on the controller. We can go grab Snowman 2, throw them in port number 2, close this, and then see how this says default port brightness. Some controllers don't have this option. It may not let you do this. The Falcon V3 does, the V4, V5. I think the Genius Experience Lights controllers do, but I'm going to change this to 30%. Now, if I change this to 30%, that's going to give me pretty even lighting across the whole prop. So let's go ahead and upload the outputs. There we go. And we'll go ahead and click Save. We'll go back in here. We'll create a new sequence, an animation, and 20 frames per second. Well, done. Nothing crazy. Another timing mark. And here's Snowman number 2. We'll output the lights. And now this other one behind me, let's make sure he's gonna do bars. There we go. Well, he looks pretty good, I think. I think he looks actually really good. Now, I think I forgot to do the bars to the left. Let's do that too. Bars left. And so it's hard to do this. Yeah, so it should be going from this way to this way. From the left to the right, it should be going from left to the right. And as I'm looking at it, it's going from, the right to the left? Oh, it's going from... No, it's going to the left from the right. So we're in good shape. The model here, I can put any effect now on here. I could put the pinwheel effect on both of them, and they should do it. Let's do it. Let's do a pinwheel on it, right? Let's do a nice thick pinwheel, and we'll give it green, white, and red, and then we'll do the same thing for the other one, right? There we go. Hey, we've got them both working. So the last thing I want to leave you with is the added functionality in the custom model dialog. Now we've uploaded the model. It's already on our controller. It wasn't listed on the controller before. I didn't upload it before. And so I want you to know that whenever you are in this custom model dialog and it's connected to the prop, the other thing that you can do, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger here. There's actually two things I'm going to show you, and then that's pretty much, there's actually two things I want to show you in here. The first thing I want to show you is that, number one, we're going to make this really light so we don't see the image anymore there. I want you to notice that there is something here called output to lights. And if I click the output to lights, the model already now is uploaded to the controller. It's on there, and it knows where those pixels are because we've already told it where they are. We can now click on a pixel number in the prop, and we can physically see it lit up there on the top right. So you can verify that these are the correct pixels in the correct pixel location whenever it comes to physically starting your model. So here's pixel number one. That should be right here. That's pixel number one. And then if you use your arrow keys up, over, there's pixel number two. And you can verify if you have a problem with your model, you can physically come down to this and really take some time and make sure everything is exactly where it should be. So the second thing I want to show you is before you're done with the model, we already know this one works. This one's fine. There's nothing wrong with this model. We need to right click and we need to trim unused space. So what xLights will do is if you have extra space in the model right up here, xLights will think that there are pixels up here. It doesn't know whether there is. It just knows that there's a square here and it has to portray an effect over top of it. That's why when we put the pinwheel effect, the center of the pinwheel is at his eyeballs. It's not down on the center mast of the snowman. So this is a very good reason for people to take a moment and look at your models and make sure that you come in here, go into the model dialog, come into the dialog settings, right click and hit trim unused space. And so what that does is that gets rid of any unused areas and it squares off the models. Now look at the size of the model here. It's 57 by 66. So he's almost as wide as he is tall. Almost, not quite. And that's a little bit off from what I imagined it was going to be at the beginning, but not far off. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Now watch this. Watch the difference. See how tall he is now? Well, now we can bring him down in size. He looks the same, but he's about a square. He's almost that square, just like the numbers say. And if we come and we re-render the effects on him, you can see that Snowman 2, it's in his space. Re-render the effects on Snowman 1. Now it's more center mast of the center of his body mass. So it does pay to take a couple seconds and do some of these extra tweaks whenever you're working with a custom model builder. There you have it. Well, folks, I hope that this video has been helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. There's a lot of little things in the xLights custom model builder that are fantastic, as you can see. I didn't even go through 3/4 of the thing, but we did an entire webinar on the custom model builder. If you want to watch that video, I'll throw a link up above. I think I can get it up there. But there's so much that's built into the custom model builder, and it is so helpful. I am greatly appreciative to the developers because as the years have gone by since 2014, 2015, I've done videos on the custom model dialog, and they have watched those videos and they have edited, updated, and improved on it every single time, making every video I do every time obsolete because I have to redo it. So I'm not doing this video to redo something else that they've changed or updated. I'm doing this because I need these for my show, and I figured this is a great lesson to share with you all. So huge thank you for you coming along with us today on this little journey that I'm making with rebuilding my show at my new house. And I hope you found the lessons very helpful and useful. If you learned something and you appreciated what we do today, consider hitting the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget the bell for notifications. And if you really did learn a lot and you think this would help somebody else, consider sharing the video. It really makes a lot of difference to me. I really appreciate it. And if you appreciate the things that we do here at Pixel Pro Displays, please consider joining the Pixel Pro Displays PPD Sequence Club, where we do one awesome new to the store sequence each and every month. For over 2.5 years now, we've been doing 2 new songs to the store for club members, and you get a choice of 3 songs every month. We change those songs out every month, so you have something new every single month that is new and different, and something that's sure to impress the people who come and visit your show when you map them in. Guys, thank you for joining me. This is Clyde signing out. We will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now. I'm going to actually go into fast mode. Okay, and action. I'm actually going to go into